Hello everyone. In this presentation I will be discussing the results of a meta-analysis assessing the safety and efficacy of dolutegravir in HIV-positive pregnant women in sub-Saharan Africa. The current first-line antiretroviral treatment for pregnant women consists of TDF with 3-TC or FTC and dolutegravir. Dolutegravir is part of the first-line recommendation as it is well tolerated in its users and multiple studies have demonstrated its ability to cause a significant and rapid reduction in the viral load. It is further favoured over drugs such as eivafirens as it has a higher barrier to drug resistance, which is an important property given the concerns regarding NNRTI drug resistance in Africa. This study aimed to analyse the results from recent trials that have studied pregnant women to compare the effects of dolutegravir treatments against the previous standard of care treatment consisting of TDF, 3-TC or FTC and eivafirens. 5 trials were selected for the meta-analysis, with the overall sample size being 1,074 women. Dolphin 1, Dolphin 2 and Impact 2010 enrolled women in late pregnancy, whereas the women in Advance and NAMSAL became pregnant whilst they were partaking on the trial. Specifically, Advance and Impact 2010 had 3 treatment arms where 2 dolutegravir combinations, one with TAF and one with TDF, were compared against eivafirens. The study will be published as a paper in the near future, so the meta-analysis method will be outlined in detail there. Regarding the endpoints, drug efficacy was measured using the viral suppression rates in each trial. Viral suppression was defined as a viral load of less than 50 copies in all the trials except for Impact 2010, which defined this as less than 200. NAMSAL did not provide viral suppression results for pregnant women, so it was not included in this endpoint, and the number of mother-to-child transmission cases was also evaluated. Regarding drug safety, the number of stillbirths, neonatal deaths, small for gestational age infants and preterm births was measured, and we also looked at the number of mothers and infants experiencing one or more adverse event. With trials varying on how they defined adverse events, we extracted data on grade 3 or more adverse events and serious adverse events and treated them as equivalent for the analysis. Moving on to the results, this graph shows the proportion of pregnant women becoming virally suppressed at delivery in each trial. Overall, there was a significant difference between the two treatments, as dolutegravir had 90% viral suppression rate compared to only 72% with eivafirens. In Dolphin 1, Dolphin 2 and Impact 2010, where women only had a few weeks to achieve viral suppression at delivery, it was dolutegravir that was able to cause a significantly higher proportion of viral suppression. However, in the Advanced trial, many women were on the antiretroviral treatment for almost 2 years before their pregnancy, so this longer treatment duration allowed both dolutegravir and eivafirens to take effect, which resulted in a non-significant difference for this trial, and you can see the p-value was 0.47 for Advance. Now, given that eivafirens was inferior to dolutegravir regarding viral suppression, you would expect to see significantly more mother-to-child transmission cases with eivafirens, and this was not seen. Although there was no statistically significant difference between dolutegravir and eivafirens, all 5 mother-to-child transmission cases occurred in the dolutegravir arm, with none on the eivafirens arm. There was no significant difference between the treatments in terms of neonatal deaths. However, there was a borderline significant difference for stillbirths, with almost double the number of stillbirths occurring in the dolutegravir arm. Looking at adverse events, there was no significant difference between dolutegravir and eivafirens for mothers experiencing one or more adverse events, but a borderline significant difference between the treatments for the infant group, with more infants experiencing this in the eivafirens arm. In terms of preterm births, there was 4% higher absolute risk of preterm births with eivafirens. Overall, 8% of mothers in the dolutegravir arm reported preterm births compared to 12% in the eivafirens arm. Regarding small for gestational age infants, there was no significant difference between the treatments. As you can see, the total percentage proportion of preterm births in the 2 treatment arms was very similar. As Advance and Impact 2010 had 2 dolutegravir-based treatment arms, TAF FTC dolutegravir was compared against TDF FTC dolutegravir, and there was no significant difference in the mothers or infants experiencing one or more adverse events. The trend in Impact 2010 favoured the safety of TAF FTC dolutegravir, but the results of the Advance showed the opposite trend. So overall, there was no significant difference between TAF regimen and the TDF regimen regarding treatment safety. Before discussing implications, here is a graph from the Advance trial showing the weight gain trend in Black female participants in each of the 3 treatment arms over approximately 3 years. Results have found that weight gain has been noticeable with dolutegravir, particularly in combination with TAF. At 144 weeks, women on the TAF-dolutegravir combination gained approximately 12 kilograms. The weight gain with dolutegravir has not only been reported in the advanced trial, with the NAMSAL trial also showing more weight gain with the dolutegravir treatment. The safety profile of dolutegravir and efavirenz was similar in the results from our meta-analysis. However, they only show the short-term effects of dolutegravir and its treatment combinations. Women on these trials received treatments for a short period of time with a limited long-term follow-up. Most participants in the meta-analysis sample started treatment just before pregnancy or during it, and this criteria may not be generalizable to the HIV-positive pregnant population. In reality, majority of the women are likely to receive antiretroviral treatment for years before they become pregnant. Therefore, future assessment of the long-term safety profile of dolutegravir is required through observational studies. It is especially important considering the concerns regarding dolutegravir-associated weight gain possibly increasing the risk of obesity-associated adverse birth outcomes in its female users. In conclusion, to summarize our findings, regarding the drug efficacy, we found that dolutegravir caused greater proportions of viral suppression over efavirenz in the pregnant women, so we were surprised to find all 5 mother-to-child transmission cases occurring in the dolutegravir arm, with none in the efavirenz arm. It is important to mention here that Dolphin 2 stated that in utero transmission likely explains 3 cases it reported, as the maternal viral load at delivery was low. Nevertheless, future trials should treat mother-to-child transmission as a primary outcome to assess our results further. Regarding the safety, there were marginal differences between dolutegravir and efavirenz, with a trend for more stillbirths with dolutegravir, but more preterm births with efavirenz, and there was no significant difference between the safety of TAF-FTC and TDF-FTC in combination with dolutegravir. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.